Hello everyone and welcome back to the Peach State Prime Transformers channel. I'm Warren, if you don't know me. Today we're talking about a rather recent reveal that's come up for a special Transformers figure, and that is the next collaboration figure, and I love talking about these. But this is the Scooby-Doo Transformers collaboration set. Today, as I'm filming this, today is Monday, July 6th. Hasbro on the official Transformers social media channels, or networks, whatever you want to call them, teased a mysterious reveal tomorrow, which would be July 7th. And as, you know, nature always wills, the official images leaked today, the day before, at the time of the filming of this video. And of course, my plan, this will be up on, today's Monday, this should be up Wednesday. So the day after the official reveal. So, you know, talking about this, you know, one of the things I like to talk about, when we get news and new reveals and stuff, is the price point of figures. This being a crossover figure with a lot of accessories that we're going to look at here, I don't really want to go into the price point. Because number one, I don't know it at the time of recording. And number two, the price point will probably be revealed by the time the video comes out. A little peek behind the scenes there. But, you know, there's not a lot to really compare it to because it's different from other crossovers. Each crossover is unique in its own way. And then, you know, it doesn't really fit the mold of any existing size class. So we're going to keep it, you know, we're going to keep this price free for this review. Because, you know, again, there's nothing to really judge it by anyways. So, the first image I'm looking at is the one that includes the Mystery Machine in vehicle mode. The Mystery Machine, of course, is the primary bot, and it is known as Mysterious Prime. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't like the name. The reason why is really nothing to do with this release. I feel that Hasbro throws the name Prime around way too much, way too easily with what it's supposed to mean. And I'm not necessarily talking about, you know, the whole Age of the Primes line we currently have. I'm talking about other crossovers. Like, you have, like, going to, like, the NFL crossover series. You got Tundra Prime and this and that, and I swear there's a couple other ones with Prime in the title. And, you know, it's really something that used to be reserved for leaders or those of great importance. Now, I'm not calling this character or any other character unimportant, but you're usually up there if you have the title Prime, so I don't like the name. If there's one thing I could change about this figure right off the bat, would be the name. I don't like it. And then the Scooby figure is Automutt. I like Automutt. I think it's a nice play off of Autobot. So I have no problem there. I like that name. And we'll talk more about the Scooby component here in just a little bit. But, you know, these images do feature a lot of the accessories. We'll get into them. But let's look at the Mystery Machine again in vehicle mode. I think it looks great. You know, it looks like the traditional Mystery Machine. I'm glad they went with opaque windows because clear, I think you'd just see, it would have thrown it off. This is something from a cell-based animated show. So I think the opaque windows are great. I love the Autobot license plate there. And they even have the orange hubcaps on here. So it's really a dead ringer for the classic Mystery Machine. So I think that they did really well there. So as you can tell from this image, and we'll go ahead and dive into this, there's a couple choices they made with this figure. Number one, first off, the accessories. I like the accessories. They gave him a camera and a flashlight. Those are classic Scooby-Doo accessories for solving mysteries. No problem there. I think those are great. Now, what they did, and this kind of harkens back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover that they did, where you can choose who the robot mode represents or resembles. And they gave you 4 heads here. And these look very similar to almost like a Headmaster or Titan Master type connection. However, from the images we have, they do not appear to have their individual, humanoid modes. They're just heads. And you have the 4 that represent the main Mystery Inc. / Scooby Gang characters. You have Fred, Velma, Daphne, and of course Shaggy. And then they also give you 2 ascots to represent whether you have Daphne or to go with Daphne or Fred. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. I personally, kind of going back to even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover, Party Wallop. I prefer just one robot head versus making it resemble other characters. I think it looks a little off. Now, they did kind of course, roboticize, if that's the right word, the looks here. And, I mean, some of them look better than others. Now, starting with Fred, you all know probably where I'm going with this. Okay, first off, I think Fred is one of the better looking options here. And, I think he looks good. I think that the hair, the blonde hair, gives him kind of that 60s vibe. So I like that. And who voices Fred? Who has always voiced Fred? Yeah, hopefully you're saying the right answer at home. Frank Welker. Who does Frank Welker famously voice in Transformers? A lot of characters, but, primarily, he's known a lot for Megatron and Soundwave are like his top 2. And, of course, Galvatron in the 3rd season, post-movie. Of course, Leonard Nimoy in the movie. But anyways, I love the fact that you have a human Frank Welker character that looks like a Transformer now. So, I do like the Fred quite a bit. The other one that I like a bit is actually, believe it or not, Velma. The reason I like Velma is the way that they kind of, again, roboticized her look is by giving her not individual glasses, but, a classic Transformers visor. So, I think that comes out pretty good on this figure when applied to it. I wish they'd have a feature that would allow that to pop off, and there's these 2 little eyes. My glasses, I can't see without my glasses. So, I think that would be a cool little Easter egg, though I don't think they included that. The next one, I kind of have mixed feelings about. And that is what is supposed to represent Daphne. This, to me, really just, yes, you have the reddish-orange dome that, is supposed to represent her hair. But then you got this, light or something on top of her head. And really, this comes across looking like a descendant of, Ironhide or Ratchet to me. And so, honestly, if you were to just show me this, even in any other color, I don't think I'd ever pick up on Daphne. That being said, they did give her that, I guess it's a scarf, ascot, whatever, the green one that goes with it. But it looks more like a classic Transformers head. So I don't like it as Daphne, but when I said at the beginning I would prefer just a regular robot head with this, that kind of fills that void. Because again, it doesn't overly look like Daphne. So I would kind of use this as that generic robot head, I guess. Though I kind of like Fred a little bit better. Even though I said I like a generic robot head. So those are the three that they gave that we have images of at the time of this recording actually on the figure. The fourth head is of course Shaggy, which, to be honest, if I had to pick one Scooby-Doo human character for this Mystery Machine Mysterious Prime to resemble, it would be Shaggy. He's obviously the most popular and the most iconic. Even if you look at all the Scooby-Doo spin-off shows and all that over the years, I'd say 98% of them always feature Shaggy. The Shaggy head here works and doesn't work for me. And again, I'd love to see a picture with it on the figure. I think the facial hair, like the little goatee, the beard, and the hair, it works. The eyes work. What I don't like about it is the smirk. Shaggy isn't known for having that fearsome leader like you have that smirk on Fred here. Shaggy's known for being a scaredy cat along with Scooby-Doo. So I would have liked to have had a face on him like one of the alternate Seeker heads has, with his mouth wide open screaming. I just think that or just looking worried, maybe like a little wave of a mouth. They have him looking too assertive here. That it doesn't represent Shaggy as we all know and love him. So I don't think they gave him the right expression, which is a real shame. So again, out of all these, again, if we're going to go for a humanoid look to represent one of the characters, I got to go with Fred here. He's my favorite of this batch. Now let's talk about Scooby or Automutt. So Automutt, his alt mode, if you can't tell from some of the images I've been showing, is a box of Scooby Snacks, which is classic. I love that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I also don't have a problem with his alt mode. The only thing I'd like to see is the other side in an image to see if it's painted like Scooby on the other side or if both sides are painted like the Scooby Snacks box. Either case is fine. I'm just curious. You have his classic blue collar. You have the classic Scooby head. It kind of resembles one of the more recent Ravage releases, but I do believe this is a new mold. If I'm wrong, please put it in the comments. But I think Scooby works as a good pack-in. Plus, even though Scooby really is, the soul, the heart of Scooby-Doo, the show and the entire franchise, I think it would have looked goofy as all get out if Scooby would have been one of the head options for Mysterious Prime. So with that being said, I think this was the best option to include Scooby. So no complaints there. I would eventually love to pick up this figure. Again, there's a few things I wish they would have done a little differently, but overall it's not a bad attempt. It's certainly a weird attempt, in regard to some of the execution. I know leading up to this official reveal, there were rumors / leaks, saying we were getting a Scooby-Doo crossover, and then there was AI-generated images showing off the Mystery Machine as a headmaster. I don't know if information was leaked ahead of time that it would have alternate heads or where that concept came from, because these AI images made it look like your classic headmasters with a humanoid form for the alternate heads and characters. But overall, I think this is an interesting addition. I think one just really 60s looking, like Hanna-Barbera looking robot head. Maybe even more akin to one of their other properties. Would have looked better on the robot mode, but again, I don't think they all look bad. Just to recap, you got Fred and Velma, who I think look good on here. It gives it that 60s / classic Transformers vibe. If you want one that's just looking like a robot head, not really Hanna-Barbera-esque, I'd go with Daphne. And Shaggy, again, is the most classic. But, again, that facial expression is not Shaggy. It does not capture his, his character whatsoever. So, I think that's my two biggest complaints are the Shaggy sculpt and the Mysterious Prime name. Outside of that, I think this is a fun release, and I think anybody who gets it, will have a fun toy to add to their collection, especially if you have other collaboration figures. I mean, why not add it to your collection? And again, price-wise, I don't know what the cost is right now, because I'm recording this before that's officially released. I'm assuming it'll go up for pre-order tomorrow. At the time of this recording, again, this should be out about Wednesday. But, as long as it's not $100, I think it'll be fine. Personally, I see this being somewhere between 50 and 60, if I had to guess. And we'll just see if I'm right. But I don't think it'll be much more than 60 if it is. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on this upcoming figure. If you enjoyed this video, please, give this video a like here on YouTube. And, of course, subscribe to the Peach State Prime Transformers channel for more content like this, whether it be discussing upcoming releases, doing toy reviews, or just talk about anything Transformers related. And, of course, you can leave a comment. What do you think of this release and, other collaborations going forward? If you'd like to learn more about me and my YouTube efforts, you can check out peachstateprime.com. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Hope you have a great one, and God bless.